Adrian Forsey from Forsey and Son Funeral Directors in Glastonbury, Somerton and Butley.
So as a funeral director, you know the process inside out. How do you think we approach funerals in this country?
I think we're getting better. We're less Victorian and stiff upper lip. We are beginning to have funerals that are a little more meaningful and personalised to the wishes of not only the person who's died but also for those who are left behind, who are grieving, and hopefully a more meaningful funeral service for those who are left behind.
And why is it important that funerals are, thought through in advance of someone dying?
Well, I think they can be more meaningful and more comforting to those who are left behind, and I think also the fact that the surviving family know that they're carrying out the wishes of the person who's died. It certainly can make quite a difference.
And do you have occasions where you meet with people before their death to discuss their funeral wishes?
Very much so, sometimes months or even years before, and we'll get monthly letters to say they've changed the second reading or the first hymn, and yes, it's quite an ongoing, but as I say, they can very often be the most moving services and most personalised, and a lot of people coming away from those services will be very uplifted by them.
And so why do you think we're so poor of talking about death and dying and funerals in this country, do you think?
I don't know, perhaps it dates back to our Victorian origins, maybe, I don't know, and I think sometimes it's actually down to the immediate family members. I've had many situations where sons or daughters have sat in front of me and said, Mum or Dad mentioned at the Sunday dinner table a few months ago that they wanted burial or cremation or whatever, and they were shot down and, we don't want to be talking about that because, there's plenty of life left in you, and wish then that they had actually spoken about it because they'd not been allowed to voice themselves.
Now you've been sat talking to some of the people who've come along today. What kind of conversations have you been having with people?
I think very encouraging ones. I think there are a lot of people here who are thinking ahead, and it can make a huge difference. I think one of the key things is that they discuss with their families their thoughts, because very often we have situations where people have planned ahead but haven't discussed it with those left behind, and that's quite a crucial element.
And so how would you encourage people to open up that conversation with loved ones in advance of their death?
I think it can be done, I think often if you write down first what your thoughts are and think it out well, and then take it to the family and discuss it with them, perhaps try and make it a little light-hearted, so that family members don't feel that they should be shooting you down and stopping you from discussing it. I think it's just sitting down and discussing at length, but I think also just checking that what you're proposing is possible. So, for instance, we have situations where families will say they want their ashes to be scattered in such and such a churchyard, when, officially speaking, I don't think Church of England encourage you to scatter ashes, they want them interred. But if Mum or Dad have put it in their will that they want them scattered, family feel duty bound to carry out Mum's wishes to the letter, and feel then upset because they're not able to scatter the ashes when Mum probably just meant she wanted her ashes in that churchyard, whether they be scattered or interred.
And not to put you out of business as a funeral director, but funerals don't need to be expensive, do they? And actually having those conversations beforehand can help with that. I suspect some next of kin feel the pressure to spend money and to have a lavish funeral when that's not necessarily appropriate or needed.
Actually, the more personalised the service, the better, and it doesn't necessarily need to cost anything at all. Actually, just to have the right music or the right people involved in giving a eulogy and so on, or just the right tone to the service, so it doesn't necessarily need to attract a cost.